when the players won an antitrust lawsuit against the league in 1970. The victory led to free agency and higher salaries. The average salary for an NBA player today is $11.1 million. The league minimum is $1.1 million. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you. Give people what they want.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
For the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black out the Dina is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
And I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. I might be rough around the edges, maybe yes. I keep it nappy, and I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. Self-preservation, self-elevation. These days deserve celebration. No hesitation, no reservation. Go for the big leagues, no relegation. Let's celebrate life, kick back and take 5, and give thanks to the source that create life. To see a sunset or see a sunrise, and see my son born with these same eyes. To see my son smile bright in every gray sky. He's growing so fast, that's why every day I give it 100, now stop at 90. Praise the Almighty, the Father and 90.
I'm feeling blessed, oh. Say tonight me and my guys we go down, baby. Whoa, 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 whoa. Say tonight man no go stress, oh. Say tonight me and my guys we go down, baby.
Steve Miles is still in Africa. WizKid and Damian Marley. Your brain may not come back until Christmas.
I'm good with that.
You're good with that. You're fine staying in the motherland. Yeah. Well, I'm happy to be home, but I definitely well, you see, I'm wearing my Senegalese dress today that I got in Senegal in 2018. It's true I got the checks with it, but still. Excited to welcome to the studio a guest I've never had the chance to be in conversation with before. She is a Reiki master teacher known for her expertise in energy healing and holistic approach to well-being. She's actually contributed to the field of Reiki through teaching, healing, and community engagement. Rhonda Kuykendall-Jabari, welcome. Kuykendall-Jabari.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
That's great to have you. So let's start with the basic. What is Reiki?
Reiki, I always say that it's two things. As a noun, it's the energy that enlivens everything around us. Anything that has energy, anything that moves, anything that is alive, that's Reiki energy. It's universal. And then as a practice, it's a modality for deep relaxation, releasing anxiety, relieving stress, and helping the body to come into balance so that it can heal.
So is Reiki like chi? Is it like
chi? How
would you
chi, prana,
ashe,
Reiki, all of that? Yeah, it's all the same. It's universal energy.
It's sort of like the energy that we can't see but we can feel.
Yes, and that connects us all.
And which moves how?
Okay, tell me what you mean by how.
Well, you say it connects us all.
Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It's in the air. It's in our bodies. It's in a tree. Like
exactly. So if you think about it, for lack of another example that everybody might be able to relate to, when you pray for someone, what happens? How does that energy reach them? How does that prayer make a difference? It's carried on an energy. You can call it God. That's appropriate. But because we're all connected, I like to say it's that thing that you have when you are someplace and someone that you cannot see is staring at you and you feel it. It's like that they're there, like the creepy guy in the club or that kind of energy. Right. Yeah, it's because we're all connected. There's only one source, whatever you call it.
So when you say Reiki, the energy is one thing and Reiki, the practice is another, you're talking about the energetic field that makes up all things in the universe.
Yes.
But as a practice, a healing, or is it a healing practice? Is it a spiritual practice? How would you define it?
A lot of people define it as spiritual. I just tend to stay away from that because when you start talking about spirituality, people want to relate it to something with that has dogma attached to it, like religion, and it's not that. So it is energy healing. It's shifting the vibrational frequencies in and around a body in order to create a space where positive energy can flow unobstructed.
So when they say it's spiritual, it's because they're having a spiritual experience or they feel it's something spirit related, but Reiki is not a religion.
No, it is not. It is not.
I feel like I've had this conversation about yoga because some folks felt that yoga was a religion. I think we're moving away from that because people look at yoga more now in another incorrect way as some kind of competitive sport or commercial enterprise as opposed to a practice, but that's another conversation for another day. I think Reiki is much more nascent. It's much newer in the national consciousness. People are more familiar with yoga.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think even though in some circles, people have been aware of Reiki, since the 60s, the 50s. But I certainly in our community, I'm finding that the awareness is really just in the last maybe 10 years beginning to become commonly known.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because to pick up on one point, you're saying that people have been practicing Reiki in this country as a healing practice, not as the existence of energy, but as a healing practice since the 50s?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure it dates back that far. When I go back, actually, they say it was rediscovered in Japan because Reiki has always been, universal energy has always been by any other name. So they like to say that it was rediscovered by Usui, Mikao Usui, and that's why it's Usui Reiki, and there are many other schools of Reiki. And that was back in like 1926.
Mikao Usui is a Japanese person who championed the idea of Reiki.
Yes. You can
And
say
you
that.
said there's different schools of it?
Yes.
I mean, is that like, are they based on different teachers or are they actual different forms? Like with yoga, you've got hatha yoga, you've got
I think it's
hot
based
yoga, which isn't really a thing. Anyway.
I think that it is based on the teachings and the teachers. People like to say, "Oh, I received this download, and now I've developed the school of Reiki." And and I don't have anything against that, but you'll find that, gosh, almost anybody that you ask may be practicing a different school of Reiki.
Right. So that's why you specifically identify as an Usui Reiki practitioner because
Yes.
it's specific.
Yes.
So is this considered a Japanese art form then, or healing modality?
I think that it is Japanese because of Usui, but the concept of laying on hands and healing and shifting energy goes all the way back to, ancient Africa. So it's all connected, I think.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into this. This is what you do when I talk about how you help people. But I think it's really important to start with what it is, because I've heard lots of different theories, and I know some folks that practice Reiki, but I myself have never participated in it. So it's interesting to hear your take as a master teacher of this compared to what's out in these streets and what's on Dr. Google. So we'll continue this conversation. If you've got a question, contribution, or, you just want to make a comment, 800-920-1580 is the number. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA, Talk 1580.
A safe place to go loud.
A great place for progressive politics.
KBLA Talk 1580.
Give people what they want.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we aim to foster enlightening, sustainable, restorative dialogue, and we welcome unapologetically progressive viewpoints that empower fellow citizens. We are now accepting submissions for KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorials like this one.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. James said something that caught me off guard. Black out the Dina is gone. My community is being murdered. I said murdered.
All you have to do is go to our website homepage at KBLA1580.com and click on the icon that says KBLA Guest Editorials to learn more about our editorial standards and content submission guidelines. As long as the topic aligns with our mission, we are happy to review your submission and consider it for broadcast. We can't make any promises, but we want to amplify progressive perspectives that are community-focused and solution-oriented. So, go to KBLA1580.com right now to download all the information you need about our guest editorials. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Westwood Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Yes, we are here, and you're invited in, as usual, 800-920-1580. If you have a question, comment, or some conversation for me, I always love to hear from you. Rhonda Kuykendall-Jabari is with me. She is a Reiki healer, Reiki master teacher, and we're talking about well-being, mind, body, spirit. Mind, body, spirit is what you say in your bio that you work on. Mm-hmm. So how do you, I mean, obviously, we're used to thinking about healing in terms of the physical body.
Mm-hmm.
How do you heal mind and spirit?
By creating a space where my clients can feel safe to let go and allow energy to do what it does, because universal energy has its own intelligence. So really, I'm just a facilitator. I have no claim on curing or anything like that, but what I do is I just continue to hold space for, and by that I mean to act as a vessel. Reiki, one of the things that makes it unique as a practice is that one must be attuned, so to speak. It's like an initiation in order to practice Reiki. And in that process, what happens is that I call it an energetic handshake takes place, where symbols are involved and they're placed in certain areas of your aura and in your chakras, and then you then act as a vessel. When someone lays on my table and I commence a Reiki session with them, what's really happening is that their body knows what it needs, even if consciously they don't know. And I certainly don't know. I don't know what's going on in that person's life or anything like that. And we're not medical practitioners, so there are no diagnostics that take place. And they pull through me what is needed. I'm just there to act as a clear vessel.
So this is like, I mean, you likened it before to hands-on healing.
Yes.
Which is
It's
something
similar.
we've seen people do in the churches and in the community. And a lot of people think it's BS.
Yeah, a lot of people do. And I'm not responsible for what other people think. I can't, I can't debate that, because I don't know what your belief system is based on. I have been taught that one does not have to believe in Reiki to benefit from Reiki.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what makes you so sure, because you've dedicated your life to this, what makes you so sure that this is not BS?
Just my own personal experience with things unseen, and that dates way back to like childhood and strange things happening. And so there was never a time that I did not believe that there were forces at work that are unseen to the naked eye. So it wasn't a big leap for me to land in this space.
So you knew when you landed this was your purpose.
It found me.
Do you read auras? I mean, can you see auras? You referenced that.
Sure.
Let's say, what is an aura? I mean, and do you see it?
An aura is the energy that surrounds the body. So it's like if this is the body, then the aura is here. It has several layers. It is it's a personal space that extends about, say, 4 to 6 feet in any direction, above, below, in front and back. And so that's your real personal space. That is what we mean when we say that person is all up in my space. If they get too close and you don't want them there and you begin to feel uncomfortable, it's because they're in your aura and you want them to move away.
So that's like your spiritual vibration extending out from your body on each side.
Yes.
And you said some people read them, but...
Yeah, some people can see auras. I'm not one of those people.
Okay. And you also mentioned chakras. We hear a lot about chakras in various spiritual and healing modalities. What is a chakra?
A chakra is an energy center. They are like, the word chakra means wheel in Sanskrit. And so they are spinning wheels of energy that are said to reside deep, deep in the body, like through the center of the body. And they appear or are sensed and felt along your entire body. So, at the top of your head, in your forehead, between your eyes, at your throat, there are chakras all over the body, in the bend of your elbows, the bend of your knees. And I look at them like data processors. They receive information from the universe.
Processors. That's interesting.
And then when they receive that information, they disseminate that information based on what's going on with you and what you can receive and process.
So when you do Reiki healing on people, you're working with chakras?
I always say chakras are separate from Reiki, you don't have to know anything about chakras to be a Reiki practitioner. They are, for the way that I teach my students, is they're like training wheels. They're a guide to make sure that you're hitting all of the energy centers in the body. So Reiki uses specific hand positions, kind of, in the beginning. And so you place your hands along areas that are connected to the chakras, just to make sure that you're sending that balancing energy flow everywhere to reach the entire body.
And if a person comes to you for Reiki healing, how do you know, what can they expect to happen or to feel?
As a result, or in the actual session?
Both.
Okay, so in the session, you lay on a table like a massage table. It is, you remain fully clothed. The practitioner will position their hands along the energy centers in your body. Your body will pull through that practitioner whatever it needs based on wherever the energy centers are. Reiki knows where to go, what to do, and it begins to loosen up and get rid of, like if you had a ball of string and there were knots in it, it begins to untie those energy centers that are blocked so that things can flow freely. It helps people, I think, to release what they no longer need.
Okay. And so then after I've experienced this laying on of hands and release of this energetic blocks in my body system, what might I feel or experience?
You may, there are things that happen on the table and then it continues, I say, for up to 21 days. And I always say I because it's a personal experience, and other practitioners may be living a whole different reality. I don't know. I've been at it for 20-something years. This is what I have seen. But people typically, while they're on the table, there are things like their stomach might begin to gurgle. They're processing this influx of energy. They might feel pins and needles. They may feel chills. They may get warm. And sometimes they feel all of those things in a single session as you move through the body, positioning your hands, because the energy is doing whatever it is supposed to do. Immediately following the session, what I typically hear from people is that they feel lighter and they feel like they are seeing things and feeling things and thinking with more clarity. And then over the next few weeks, they may experience vivid dreams. They may find that they're having epiphanies about issues that they were stuck in and say, oh my gosh, why did I not think of this solution before? Things open up and I think they come into alignment with things that are healing and better for them.
Now, for me, as a well-being enthusiast, a health enthusiast, someone that tracks anything that makes me feel, function, think better, I can still be skeptical of a lot of stuff, but I'm going to be more respectful because I've experienced it so many times. My example that I've given before on the show is sound healing. My friend Sahara Ali does sound baths and sound healing, and for the longest time she was like, "Oh, let me help you. Let me give you a session. And I'm just like, that's BS. Sorry, but a sound is not going to fix this, that, or the third." And then finally, I did. I was having trouble with my hip. She did a sound healing session, and amazingly, my hip stopped hurting. And so for the maybe 100th time, I realized that we don't know what we don't know.
That's right.
And just because it seems unlikely to you or you don't understand how it works doesn't mean that it doesn't work.
Agreed.
And even like acupuncture, which now many insurances cover acupuncture, but Western science doesn't know why it works.
That's right.
Do we know why Reiki works? What's the theory of the science behind it?
To be honest, I don't think we know because there hasn't been enough well-funded research to have real empirical data about how and why Reiki works. They have discovered some specific instances that did really well in research. For example, people who are in treatment for cancer have found that when they include Reiki as part of their care program, an integrated approach, then they have less side effects from the harsh treatment. So they may not be as nauseous after chemotherapy. They may not be as exhausted, as drained. as they are healing.
And what are some of the kinds of things that are addressed? I'm looking at this article on Yahoo about Reiki, and they're saying that people with mysterious, undiagnosable, or so far undiagnosed chronic pain use Reiki. What are some of the things that people can address with this modality of healing?
So now we're getting into the politics of,
Right.
of wellness and healing and things that we can and cannot say because we are not medical practitioners.
Right.
Yeah, there's a whole lot of that going on right now. But I can say that, yes, I have had people experience pain relief. I have experienced pain relief recently. Within the last 4 or 5 weeks, I've been diagnosed with severe COPD, yet I'm here sitting with you and able to talk and catch my breath. My voice is a little different than it would ordinarily be, but I believe that Reiki has had a lot to do with that. I've been pairing it with my other treatments, and I find it to be very effective.
That's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
Yes.
Which would make it hard to breathe and therefore hard to talk.
Exactly.
And you feel like for you personally, and I know this because I've been dealing with holistic healers for decades. And there's so many things people cannot say.
Yes.
We're in such a weird place now in this country because on the one hand, you've got RFK who claims to be pro-holistic healing and health, but it doesn't seem like it's helping folks a lot. At the same time, he's taking away some of the things that are actually useful about Western medicine, so I'm not really sure where we are with that.
Yeah, and it's interesting because even in my own case, and I can talk about my own stuff, so even in my own case, as I was sitting with the doctor and, he was telling me I had COPD, he was trying to figure out where it came from. He could, I don't smoke. I've never been in smoky environments. No one in my family smoked when I was growing up. Where did this thing come from? But I told him, as he was talking about options for treatment, I said, okay, please know it's my first time seeing this physician, that I'm not someone you're just going to say, take these pills, take this medicine, and, call me in the morning. I said, so I'm going to be pairing this with some holistic modalities that I'd like to keep conversations open about because we're a team, right? We're supposed to be trying to get me better. And it was very interesting because he was like, oh, yeah, I just want to say that I don't think any of that stuff is going to help you. Okay.
Right, and back to what you said earlier, you're not responsible for what he thinks.
Right, and I told him, and I'm glad that my healing is not responsible for what he thinks, or I might not be as well as I am today.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with Rhonda Kuykendall-Jabari. She's a Reiki Master, Reiki healer, and I'm really interested, we've got news, traffic, and sports right here, but I'm really interested in how the mental health piece and the energy piece is playing out in this historical moment where there's so much fear, stress, anxiety around what's happening in Washington, around these wars internationally, in the global resurgence of fascism. I decided starting today we're going to do some courage and fear discussions at the top of every show so we can remember that we are fearless. We are intentional and afraid of nothing, as Audre Lorde would say. I want to talk about how Reiki fits in that picture when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump's $9 billion DOGE spending cuts are advancing in Congress. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said the GOP just does what President Trump wants.
We were here to govern as a co-equal branch of government. This bill today represents the very opposite of that.
GOP leaders say it reins in waste, but critics warn it undermines Congress. Shaquille O'Neal is defending WNBA star Angel Reese, warning Robert Griffin III to stop spreading false claims. On the Off the Record podcast, Shaq threatened to punch Griffin in the face if he kept targeting Reese. He says the drama is fueled by bots and attention seekers. And a Black California mom has defied the odds. Najee Drake gave birth to all 4 of her kids on July 7th in different years. None were induced, and each child shares a birthmark on their right leg. Experts say the odds are in the millions. Drake, a nursing student, calls it a blessing. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
Is this the This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Chargers are the first NFL team to open training camp. The Chargers are scheduled to conduct full workouts today in El Segundo. First day of training camp for the Rams is Tuesday, July 22nd at Loyola Marymount. Hall of Fame basketball player Oscar Robertson was given the Arthur Ashe Award for Courage last night at the ESPYs, the sports world's version of the Academy Awards. LA native Russell Westbrook presented the award to Robertson. Robertson, now 86, was the first black president of a sports labor union. The 12-time NBA All-Star was president of the NBA Players Association when the players won an antitrust lawsuit against the league in 1970. The victory led to free agency and higher salaries. The average salary for an NBA player today is $11.1 million. The league minimum is $1.1 million. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
All I need is one mic.
With the KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Recently, I listened to a Tavis Smiley Show conversation with James Farr. At one point, James said something that caught me off guard. Not because it wasn't true, but because it is. Black Altadena is gone. I know it may seem stupid and non-productive, but I stopped in that moment listening to Tavis and James. I broke down and cried. In the back of my mind, I told myself we can bring it back like it was. But James Farr's reality check hit me like a ton of bricks. My community is being murdered. I said murdered, not by the Altadena Eaton Canyon fire, but by the people we elect to protect us, and by greedy and gatekeeping nonprofits who cannot see the forest for the trees. For the first time since the fire, I truly feel and understand my wife's inconsolable pain. Because I'm struggling to find a path to recovery and at least some form of normalcy. My community is crumbling right in front of my face. Lack of funding to rebuild is slowly destroying us. Many of us can no longer hold out, and developers are gobbling up our property. When I hear voices like Tavis Smiley and James Farr speak truth to power on KBLA Talk 1580, it reminds me that we're not crazy, just unheard. Make no mistake here, KBLA delegation, this is war, and we the people of Black Altadena are losing. It's like waiting for reparation. Not gonna happen, brother. In this new orange man world, no one, no entity is persuaded by right or wrong. There is no consequence for doing the wrong thing, and no accolades or support for doing the right thing. Will war-torn Black Altadena survive? Your guess is as good as mine. But what have I got to lose? I'm in my 70s and don't have time to wait. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. once suggested that riots break out when people have no hope. But there is nothing left to burn down in Altadena. I wish I could say I remain hopeful that my beloved community will rise again like a phoenix from the ashes. I wish I could. With a KBLA Talk 1580 guest editorial, I'm Martin Gordon, chair of the Pasadena Community Coalition. Pasadena Community Coalition at gmail.com. Reach out to me. As always, we welcome your feedback.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where everybody is somebody and nobody is a stranger. You belong here.
And we are talking health and holistic healing. Molly Bell just texted me. I love you, Molly Bell. She wants me to know that the Dems just walked out of a hearing to confirm the Trump official Emile Beauvais as a federal judge. I love that. Let's see if they hold the line. Speaking of energy, they need to get that wimpy energy off of them and get into some fierce warrior energy. Rhonda Kuykendall-Jabari is with me. She's a Reiki Master, Reiki healer. And we're talking about a lot of things, but I teed up before news, traffic, and sports the fear, anxiety, stress, terror that I'm really hearing from a lot of our delegation, the people that call, but also my personal friends who I'm talking off the ledge, folks talking about leaving the country. Where do I turn? And so if Reiki is about energy, I guess it's kind of a two-part question. How do we use it to manage the moment? But also, is that collective energy of fear and despair, is that impacting everyone's psyche in a collective way?
Oh, that's a great question. I think it is. I think we've been traumatized since the first Trump administration. I think we are a country of traumatized people, and that trauma has never been addressed, because of what I started seeing from that time, like my practice really started booming when Trump got in the White House the first time.
Oh my gosh, that's sad.
And I got more white women coming to see me, which was very interesting, because that wasn't my base before. I used to be inside Lucy Florence. I'm a community girl, and every time I would ask them, how did you come here? You had to pass by 100 Reiki practitioners to get here. The response was, I really felt like I needed to work with someone not white, which I thought was very interesting.
That is interesting.
Considering the role they played, in that
in
election.
Electing him, yeah,
so I do
53%.
think that it is impacting everyone, but I also think that if enough people, like the mass consciousness, right, that rules everything. So if enough people can find some sense of balance and some way to reconnect with the forces that are unseen, that are here for us, everybody comes with their team of, energy, spirit, whatever you want to call it, that's supposed to help us navigate this world in a more positive way. And I think that it's one of life's challenges to learn to get quiet and connect with that energy. And I think that Reiki can really facilitate that for people if they're open to it.
And so if I or someone makes an appointment, they say, this is what I want to deal with, I'm too stressed out, or you kind of just let the body do the talking?
I let the body do the talking. I do know some practitioners that say that they address specific issues. My teachings say Reiki knows what to do, because I might think it's one thing, but it's actually something else on a different level and on a different layer that needs to be addressed a different way. So I'm just holding and creating the space.
Molly Bell, I call her the chairwoman of our chat room. She said she also has COPD.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Yeah. So you've been doing this 20 plus years? 23 years. Surely 23 years ago, people gave you the side eye when you started talking about Reiki.
23 years ago, my practice was inside Lucy Florence in Lamert Park. You can only imagine. And so it was the people coming in, walking big circles of, okay, what do you do? And then, I don't know. I have to go and talk to my pastor about that. And then coming back and saying, yeah, my pastor said that's not something I should do.
Really?
And then years later, those same people coming back around and me saying to them, what has changed? And the response was overwhelmingly, whatever I've been doing is not enough. I need something more.
Okay, just in desperation.
Yeah, I think so.
Pretty soon the pastors will start coming.
Yeah.
Willie Ellis said in The Karate Kid, his teacher wrote both of his hands to heal him. So what do you think that we need to know about Reiki that we don't know?
I think that something that people may not know or understand, and I've said it several times here today already, is that all-important connection to your team of supporters who are unseen. Grandmama, Nana, great-grandmama, whoever that is, that Reiki can clear the way and connect you to those people or that energy, so that as you navigate life, you become in tune and you can begin to make safer and better and more powerful decisions for yourself that are going to propel you forward instead of making you feel stuck or being stuck in fear.
Everything is energy. I mean, science says that.
Yes.
Whether they validate Reiki or not, science says everything is energy.
Yes.
You said you don't see auras. Do you read people's energy or the energy of spaces and places that you go into?
I do. My tool of choice has been a pendulum. And
a pendulum, like a stone or an object on a string.
Sure. Can I grab it?
Yeah. For the folks on YouTube, you can see them. You know, my mom used to use pendulums a lot.
Did she?
Yeah.
Where's she from?
Well, my mom's Italian Sicilian.
Okay.
Well, may she rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
But she was also a Tibetan Buddhist practitioner.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of other things. My mom was a pioneer of many things. But she would use a pendulum, which is why I'm familiar with a pendulum.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful crystal that she's taking out of her bag on a silver chain.
This is like my baby that I carry with me everywhere.
Oh, wow, it's gorgeous.
So for me, the connection, again, I had no idea. My mother's father used to have this piece of ginger on a dirty, ratty rope that he called Queenie. And when he wanted to get the truth out of us, Queenie had a big mouth. And he would hold it. I don't even know if my siblings remember this, but I remember this happening a time or two. And he would hold it. Okay, show me yes. And it would swing, and he would ask us questions, and he would get to the bottom of whatever was going on. It was always correct. I had no idea what that meant at that time. I was real young, so I didn't know anything about that. Thank you. And
so the pendulum swings one way for yes and another way for no.
Yes. So show me no. That's my no swing, and it's different for each person.
No is counterclockwise.
No, for me.
For you.
Yeah.
So
for
it's
you, it
for
could
everybody.
be side to side. It could be back and forth. It could be standing still. Thank you.
So how do you figure out which one it's doing? She's saying thank you to the
I know.
pendulum, by the way, and it's stopping spinning when she says that.
So it is.
So either she's
you can
a sleight of hand
program
master, or
Right.
that thing is talking to her. Either way you go.
So it is. You can either program it. So if I wanted to, I could do this and say, okay, this is yes.
Right.
But I wanted something more organic because that is who I am. So instead, I said, "Show me yes." And it did that. And I said, okay, thank you, stop. Show me no. And it moves in the opposite direction. So then I know every time it's the same. Yes is clockwise and no is counterclockwise. But that is how I read energy. In a Reiki session, I will walk along the body asking silently, okay, is this energy center open? Is this one open? Is this one open? It'll show me yes or no. It'll also, because of the way that it swings, it indicates for me how that energy is moving, because our chakras should work together like the inner workings of an analog watch. And if any one of those chakras is off, just like a watch, then it's like a piece of sand getting in there and it throws everything off. So as I walk along the body, balanced chakras are a natural byproduct of Reiki, but not the other way around. If I'm doing chakra balancing, I'm doing that work. But when I do Reiki, the universe is doing that work. So it's a little bit different.
So when for the pendulum, do you like say, okay, is this a good space for me? Is this the right car? I mean, what kinds of questions are we talking about here?
You can ask anything.
Second date, yes or no?
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow. And you feel confident that you're not manipulating it with
if
your
I
hand.
feel too close to it, I don't even ask, because I know that I would be,
like if you're too close to it, you'll be like, yeah, it's trying to go the other way. Like, yeah, I want to go on another
We just
date
want
with this
validation,
person.
right? Yeah.
Right. So
yes.
So you check yourself for that.
I do.
Interesting. So when we talk about mental health, this is one of the things that you work on. Also, you have a book coming out next year, but I want to talk about those things when we come forward. We're talking with Rhonda Kuykendall-Jabari. You're welcome in. It's not too late to call me, by the way, if you want to. 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I'm Dominique DiPrima for KBLA, Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Founded in Los Angeles in 1986,
Litigation powerhouse Quinn Emanuel has deep roots in the Los Angeles community. Since 2007, we have litigated some of the largest fires on the West Coast. We are proud to be the only AmLaw 100 firm in the country to represent wildfire victims, giving affected individuals, families, and businesses the same focus and individualized attention we devote to our Fortune 500 clients. BTI Consulting has repeatedly recognized Quinn Emanuel as among the 4 law firms in-house counsel least liked to oppose in any litigation, and we are often deemed the most feared. And after securing over $80 billion for our clients in various matters firm-wide, we understand why. If you have been affected by the recent wildfires in Altadena and the Palisades and would like to discuss your situation further, please contact wildfire support at QuinnEmanuel.com or call us at 213-443-3050. Quinn Emanuel is proud to sponsor Conversation Live Altadena Rising with James Farr on KBLA Talk 1580.
Attorney advertising. Prior results do not guarantee future outcomes.
Hello, this is Dr. Rosa Milligan, self-appointed mayor of South Central LA. Attention business owners, protect your family now. Your business should never bankrupt your family. Form an LLC now. Register for my Zoom seminar at mytechacademy.net or call 213-878-4742.
In today's Sue Happy society, one lawsuit could wipe out your home, money, investments, even the inheritance meant for your grandchildren. But there's good news. An LLC protects your personal assets and your legacy. It's the shield every smart business owner needs. Register now for Dr. Rosie's powerful seminar at mytechacademy.net or call directly at 213-878-4742.
As an experienced business consultant, I will help you set it up right the first time. Visit mytechacademy.net. Call me 213-878-4742. Protect your family. Secure your legacy. Form your LLC today.
Joe Buck and John Smoltz welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. Uh-oh. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter. Stand Up to Cancer and Rally want you to reduce your risk for cancer. Go to takeahealthystand.org.
The conversation continues right now with Dominique DiPrima on First Things First.
The conversation does continue. Wellnessuprising.com is where you can find this woman. Wellnessuprising.com. Rhonda Kuykendall-Jabari is my guest. She's a prominent Usui Reiki Master teacher, energy healing. She does holistic well-being. And one of the things that you pride yourself in is working with people on mental health. How does Reiki connect to mental health?
Oh, that's a great question. So the way in which I do that is that I have a contract with UMA, now UMA Health. It used to be UMA Community Clinic. And they refer their mental health clients to me for Reiki. And so I've had a really great opportunity to witness over time how, even if it's just in the sense of an awareness that, okay, you're being triggered, something is going on, it helps people to tune in and to be more aware of their feelings and of their thoughts. And I also believe that Reiki can address the past in that, because we do something called distance Reiki. So you can send energy to the past or to the future. If I have to take a test, send energy to the future so that I can draw down that energy right before my test and be nice and calm and focused. And I think that what it does is it shifts perspective.
Okay. You say that, that Reiki was rediscovered by this Japanese man, Mikao Usui, and that it's much older than that. I'm also reading in your bio that you incorporate other traditions, including African healing traditions, into your Reiki style. What does that mean?
That's interesting because I've had people say, because there are African schools of Reiki, like Kemetic Reiki and things like that. And people have said, oh, you should go learn that. I'm going, but I am black. Nobody has to give me the black card, so to speak. And that's what I mean when I say that I'm asking my ancestors all the time, what else? What else should I be doing? How else do I help this person to connect with the solution that they need?
And the book, talk to me about a book. You've got a book coming out.
I'm so excited about this book. Yes, the book is called Burn and Brew Rituals. And it is a book that tells the story of me. Like at the beginning of every chapter, you get a personal story from me that talks about how I came to live this life. I am a child, I was born in 61. So I am a child of, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s. And how different things led me down a road that said, I think I want to look at this. But Burn and Brew is actually a practice that I started doing, maybe 30 years ago now. Every morning I wake up, like people sit in meditation. I wake up, I burn an incense. Sometimes I'm guided to whatever incense is going to take me to the frequency that I desire or need in that moment. And I brew something wonderful to drink, and all my recipes are in the book as well. And I sit in meditation in that smoke and wait to hear how do I best represent God? How do I best represent energy today? So that's my Burn and Brew practice. But people can make that practice about whatever they want it to be about. And it's very flexible. Certainly people should adjust it to their lifestyle. So I give the basics, and then I give the recipes, and I offer a ton of affirmations and intentions to just to let people know how to find their way. And then you can take that book and create your own.
So when you talk about rituals, again, you're not talking about religion or witchcraft?
No. And to me, a ritual is anything that you do on a regular basis. I mean, brushing my teeth is a ritual. I get up every morning. I do it at about the same time. I do it the same way every time. That's a ritual. And it has nothing to do with religion.
So Burn and Brew is the book, and you're going to, that's what you do every day. You're going to teach people how to do this or how to adapt it to their own purposes and lifestyle. Tell me about how the incense, what role the incense plays in. And you said you pick one that's going to do a thing. How do we know what those things are going to do, what those incenses are going to do? It sounds like you have a huge collection.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have more incense than I'll ever use in this lifetime. But I always say, ask and trust. What are you guided to? When you walk into 31 flavors, how do you decide which flavor you want? You have to ask and learn to trust yourself. And that's what this is about. That's what a lot of this process is about. Learning to trust, because we don't trust. I mean, we can't trust the medical system. We can't trust the politicians. We can't. So it's all about tapping in and learning to trust yourself. And so for me, that is, as a matter of fact, I lost my father back in April, so I just refreshed.
Oh my, I'm sorry.
I know you know what that's like, right?
I do.
So I just refreshed my ancestral altar, and I have this humongous bowl of just so much incense, and then I have jar upon jar upon jar of dried herbs, because you can reach into your kitchen cabinet and grab the basil and throw that on a charcoal disc, and
now you have incense.
Yeah, that's right. So
that's interesting. And so that's where incense meets aromatherapy. I imagine if you put oregano on there, you probably would get some benefits for your cardiovascular system.
Yeah, but even more so than the physical, that oregano is going to help you to focus and to concentrate and to wake you up and prepare you for the day. So it's those kinds of frequencies, as opposed to, because it is very healing. We know, as a matter of fact, oregano was one of the ingredients in my respiratory tea that I drink every day. So that's the physical side. But the energetic side may be something a little bit different. And that's what you're calling in Burn and Brew.
And then the brew part is all these different teas and...
Tea, coffee, hot chocolate, that's me.
Hot chocolate?
Oh my gosh.
So again, you must have a huge tea and chocolate collection.
The hot chocolate, not so much, just because of, I don't do dairy. Right. And I don't want to overdo the sweets thing. I do mostly coffee and tea, but I got a ton of hot chocolate recipes. I have an emotional connection to hot chocolate. There were 5 of us growing up, and my mother, God bless her, I'm very lucky. My mother's still alive. And she would, one at a time, wake us up, whisper, "Okay, come on, let's go." Get me up in the morning. We'd go to Clifton's cafeteria. And she would let me have whatever I wanted. And just me and her, it would be just the two of us. And I would always get a big cup of hot chocolate. It was always so good and so sweet and so warm. And it was just that time with my mother. And then, of course, I turned into a teenager and did what I did. And she got tired. I was 5 of 5. And then I reconnected with a very close girlfriend in high school, and she was a hot chocolate fan. And we would go to her house, and they had a real fireplace, and we would crumple up paper. This story is in the book. Crumple up paper and make a fire and make hot chocolate and hang out on a Friday night, just talking and being and dreaming and connecting. So I have a real emotional connection to hot chocolate.
Well, you got to try the hot chocolate in Ghana. It is the best hot chocolate I've ever had. Anyway,
wow.
I did. Not that I was drinking a lot of it.
Right.
Not that I had it every day or anything, but anyway. So what we put into our bodies through the aromas, the incense, and through the tea or hot chocolate or coffee is setting the tone for our intention.
Yeah, and well, actually, it's the other way around, because to me, everything is driven by intention. So the rest is just, that's why I said you can choose whatever you want. Set your intention, but because you've chosen what resonates with you, I think it all falls in place and comes into alignment.
Interesting. Yeah, I we could do a whole show about that. I've actually done that with Reverend Michael Beckwith, because I think setting intention is something we could do a lot more of. But I also want to talk, we just have a couple minutes here, about, people talk about protecting our peace, setting intention. There's a book I read, I can't remember the name of it right now, that talks about disciplined imagination. I'm thinking about what I referenced earlier, of fear and information overload and anxiety, that this moment in our society, how important it is, or how can we better set our energy, our vibration, to thrive and be well.
I think it's about awareness. Be still. Don't feel like you always have to be talking or being entertained, or it's like we engage all the time, and sometimes you just need to be still. I always say that. How can you hear what God is saying to you if you're talking all the time, or if there's always music on, or if there's always, it's like sometimes you just need to stop and receive. And that's a hard thing. But I think that that's the space that Reiki creates for people. You can be all over the place all the rest of the time, but when you come in and lay on that table and you give me permission to allow energy to flow through me and to you, then we're now creating a space for that to happen.
Tell us how to find you.
You can find me on the web, www.wellnessuprising.com. You can call me by phone or text 323-454-1124. I do live streamed meditations every Wednesday. Every third Thursday, which is tonight, I'm at the Miriam Matthews Library from 6 to 6:45 doing guided meditation for the groups that come in. And I think those are all the ways.
There's a lot of ways. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
Certainly.
Bottom line for those around the world, wellnessuprising.com. I'm sure you have all of those other opportunities to connect with you listed as well. I usually end with a quote, and I'm going to use your quote because I really like it. You say, how can you hear what God is saying if you're talking all the time? That was probably mostly aimed at me myself, since I talk for a living, and I'm a Gemini. We love to talk, but sometimes you got to listen. Speaking of listening, Tavis Smiley's up next. He's got an incredible show for you today. Man, he's got a team of producers working around the clock to bring you some really, really interesting guests, and they do an amazing job. So looking forward to another great episode of the nationally syndicated Tavis Smiley program. Tap in with me on social media. I'm at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima Radio. I even have a YouTube channel. Talk to me when we're off the air. Tap in at KBLA 1580 on all socials as well. Like my mama used to say, history is now, and we are making it together. Until tomorrow, one love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with BIN News Now. President Trump's $9 billion DOGE spending cuts are advancing in Congress. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said the GOP just does what President Trump wants.
We were here to govern as a co-equal branch of government. This bill today represents the very opposite of that.
GOP leaders say it reins in waste, but critics warn it undermines Congress. Shaquille O'Neal is defending WNBA star Angel Reese, warning Robert Griffin III to stop spreading false claims. On the Off the Record podcast, Shaq threatened to punch Griffin in the face if he kept targeting Reese. He says that...
Welcoming you back to the City Center Convenience Mart. She's looking at the cigarettes, but she just grabs the gum off the counter.